Hello everybody, greetings and welcome to my channel. This is Siobhan, aka the Celtic Empath, but I'm coming to you today. It is Wednesday, I think it's the 22nd of May, and I wanted to have an update on the full moon in Scorpio that we've just recently had last week. Which has been, it's pretty powerful and it's a pretty deep, powerful full moon that we've just entered into. And so we're going to have the energy of that with us for the next few weeks. So we're deep into that energy now this week as it is, and I have to say personally for myself, without giving any personal information, it is showing up in my life, the energy of the full moon, or the deepness, the depth of what this full moon brings. So you might actually, you might want to ask me, what does that mean? What does this full moon in Scorpio mean for us? Okay, so Scorpio is known as one of the deepest or deeper, most introspective, reflective signs of the zodiac. Scorpio is all about mystery, it's all about maybe secrets, it's all about wanting to know the truth. Scorpios are people who delve to the truth. They love the truth, they're very curious, and they're also the most psychic sign out of the zodiac. So Scorpios have great intuition and a good sense of spirituality. If you're not a Scorpio, if you're not born in Scorpio, what does this mean? It means that you are going to begin to feel, and you've probably already started to feel this way, probably because the energies were starting since last week, before, as it was, we'll say, accumulating, coming up to the full moon, and we're very much in the midst of it now. So you will begin to feel more introspective. You are starting to delve deeper. There will be situations and probably have already manifested in the past week or so for most people within relationships. So perhaps a bit of dramas, melodramas, confrontations or lack of confrontations, or just the deeper, as we say in the spiritual terms, the shadow side is coming up, it's rising up to the surface. So the shadow side is within all of us, whether or not we want to acknowledge it or whether or not we understand or know what the shadow means. The shadow aspect can be the negative side of our personalities. It can be the negative side of the past, of things that happened to us that's still part of us. It's not a good thing, it's not a bad thing, but it is called the shadow because it can be unconscious, and it also needs to be healed and dealt with. And this is a very massive opportunity for the shadow side now in all of us to be exposed to the light yet again. So I ask you to look, where is this showing up within your relationships? It could be anywhere. It could be with a parent or parents. Anywhere within the family dynamic is a very common place, because that's where a lot of us will inherit our shadow side to start with. After that, it's going to show up within friendships, relationships, people that we class as friends, and now we might be going through this period of wondering who is our friends, or is that person really as good a friend as we once thought they were? And what is our relationship with that person now? And we might be noticing or witnessing that our relationships maybe with certain people are changing at the moment. Brings with it, because it's the full moon in Scorpio, it's going to bring a process of deep inquiry and questioning and looking into the relationship, and also things may need to be exposed in the relationships, things may need to be said. So there's going to be, this is part of deep healing that is going on for people. It's exposing things in relationships that maybe weren't working really well. So reflect and maybe apply this scenario maybe to a relationship or a situation that you're experiencing right now. The full moon in Scorpio is asking you to really face things head on. It's asking you to acknowledge that something maybe doesn't feel quite right. It's asking you to maybe look a little bit deeper. It's asking you to trust your instinct, because this is Scorpio. To be Scorpio is to listen to your instinct, to listen to that gut feeling, listen to what you're sensing down here that may or may not be feeling right. You know, something's changed, something has shifted, the energy is different, the relationship's a bit different, or something has happened that you feel doesn't make sense anymore. where something was working, seemed to be working up until quite recently, and now all of a sudden there's just this shift where something's not quite working. So go with that and trust that, because this is what Scorpio in full moon Scorpio is all about. Trusting that tiny little gut feeling, that little voice that something small just isn't quite right, and following it, following that little thread of inquiry. And if you have to ask uncomfortable questions, if you have to have uncomfortable conversations with certain people, then I would urge you, as in myself, to make the time for this to happen now, as soon as you can, to deal with it. We do need to deal with this head on now in May, because this is the opportunity, the energy for us to level up, to upgrade, to shift up our energy, to clean up the shadow side, to get it up, dredge up what's in there. And so it's like we're mopping up certain areas of our life now. We're given this opportunity. And the magic of all of this, because Scorpio is such a psychic sign, also people who are ready for it and open to it are also going to be noticing that maybe their psychic abilities, dreams, feelings, intuitions, signs that you're noticing from the universe, just anything, all those small little things are starting to kind of level up a notch. Maybe your dreams are getting more intense and you're noticing your feelings around these dreams, or maybe you're having more premonition type dreams, or maybe you're going throughout your day and you have a strong sense of that you kind of know something, or you know what's going to happen. So this deeper knowing psychic side of ourselves, all of this is getting stronger now as well. So the more you clean out that shadow side, the more you clean out and listen to those instincts that are pulling you in certain directions, the more you have those uncomfortable conversations and make time to have them with the people that you need to have them with. If the people that you need to clean out the shadow side with are not willing to engage, then so be it, because that is really them denying what is actually showing up for them also, with the shadow side being turned upside down and with the full moon in Scorpio. So because there are going to be people who are just going to completely not want to have anything to do. They won't want to be moved by the energy. They won't want to shift. They won't want to deal with their stuff. They won't want to move on. They won't want to upgrade. So regardless, you can't make them do that. But once you're willing to do it, to try, to do your best and to follow your instinct, that is the most important thing that I would stress to you now at this particular time, is to follow that instinct. Follow that, even if the people won't have conversations with you that need to be had now in the month of May, then so be it. You probably have to let that go eventually. Because there is a certain point, and this brings me to my next point, where with Scorpio is all about integrity and honesty. That is the Scorpio, and that's one thing that I don't have to explain, because I know anybody here who is a Scorpio or may have a Scorpio rising in their sign, they understand exactly what I'm talking about. Honesty, truth telling, and integrity. And integrity is everything to a Scorpio. So this is the month to harness those things and to really kind of like, put a harness around the neck of this really shadow side stuff, and to learn how to communicate your needs to the people or the relationships right now that you need to actually face the shadow work with. And where in your life do you need to have deep inquiry for honesty, integrity, and don't forget sovereignty, because with integrity comes sovereignty, and sovereignty is where the power, that's where your true power lies. So I'm going to shuffle some cards. It kind of helps me to settle down into myself. I think it relaxes me. It's the images and the colors and the pictures. So I'm going to shuffle these cards, and I am going to connect into my higher and greatest self, to my highest monadic self that I am. And as I connect to my highest perspective of myself, I know that I am my power. and that I am who I am. Everything is within me. The answers are not outside. Everything is deep within. And I trust and I listen to my inner guidance as I ask for the highest message, for the greatest good of all people concerned that will watch this video, and that we will receive this message and discern the truth for ourselves, that it will serve as some kind of guidance for the rest of the week in order to guide us through the full moon in May, the new one in Scorpio. Okay, so I can feel these cards are starting to split. Okay, my battery just went dead, so I had to charge my phone and get back to this video. So we were just in the process of channeling and asking for some guidance. Okay, and I'm just going to split the cards, and I'm going to let the universe take care of the rest. Oh, well, it is kind of on the topic of what I was talking about. So this card is the Lady Alfreda. It says that justice will prevail. This card is a reassurance to say to you that justice is going to prevail. So the justice will be done. And please find some kind of solace if you can in that, going through a very difficult time. If you are going through a difficult time with any kind of legal cases that are happening. So please know that in any situation in our lives, with any of us at the moment, with any difficulties that we're having in relationships, that keep trusting your instinct, keep listening to that inner voice, that really quiet inner voice that's talking to you, that's maybe giving you some guidance, might be giving you some extra intuitive information in relation to what you need to know. But basically when the day comes, because as I said earlier, we are being asked to really kind of take this head on. We're being asked to deal with things, not confront, but to deal with things head on. We've been asking to kind of harness our relationships. We're to harness whatever it is that's kind of caused maybe a bit of upset recently in any of our lives with other people, that people have maybe done, and you have somehow ended up being involved in some drama. It's not even of your doing or your making. This is the whole thing, is that you find yourself involved in a situation that does involve you. You've been involved. You may not have directly actually made it happen or have anything to do with it in some respects, but somehow you've been pulled into something else, and that's happening, kind of coming to a head, if you like, some important things that are happening. So listen to that inner guidance system that you have, because you are feeling and hearing intuition that is leading you in the right direction, that's leading you to justice prevailing in your life. So this is just a confirmation on that, to try and take some power from this, the imagery of this card, and to see them. Here's the moon, and here's a star. And this is a dragon fey deck, so there's actually a dragon in here as well for all the dragon lovers. Okay, so that's my message for today. And if you want to know more, you can leave your comments below. Go ahead and like and subscribe, because I have a lot more to talk about. I have a lot more work that I do energetically, and I will be going a lot more into ascension work and talking about ascension. But for my kind of beginner / type videos, I'm just starting off kind of taking the subjects quite lightly and quite easily. Well, go ahead and like and subscribe to keep me going, and hope that you find this information relevant and interested. And yeah, go ahead and leave your comments below. So thank you for watching.